Hello. So today's question is, what do people mean when they say you should take your crypto offline or store your crypto offline, something like that? So you sometimes hear these lines here, and the most important part is it's less about it being offline. Obviously, it adds, well, quote unquote, a layer of security, but it's more about a wallet being custodial or non-custodial. And by that I mean, if a wallet is custodial, meaning that another entity is managing the wallet for you. For example, let's say if you have on Coinbase a wallet of, well, if you let's say you have on Coinbase XRP or something like that. So let's say I've got 50, 40 XRP on Coinbase, meaning that whenever I want to make an action and say, for example, I want to send XRP from my wallet, well, it's not actually a wallet because they have a shared pool, but let's call it that way. So let's say I want to send XRP from a Coinbase account to another wallet, then would go through them. They would give the order and interact with the blockchain, and not we wouldn't do that. We would just tell the Coinbase API, yes, hello, I'm that user. I do have sufficient funds, and please send whatever blah blah XRP to that address. Then Coinbase can track that, can also do some backend logic there, and then they will or will not do what you told them. And obviously, they also can deny you that request, even though you, for example, have enough XRP and stuff like that. And the difference here, and the other thing is having a. So this would be when you have it in Coinbase, it's a custodial wallet. There's a custodian who is managing it for you, and then there's the other thing with the so-called non-custodial wallets. And with the non-custodial wallets, we've got different types. We've got hardware and software custodial. We've got hardware and software non-custodial wallets. So I'm going to call that one here software wallet, and then we have a hardware wallet there. And in both cases, you're in full control of the account, because in order to give so when you give an order, you're using your mnemonic you have like set up for both, as for either for the hardware or software wallet, but you're in full control. In both cases, you own the quote unquote own the keys. This is a thing which is being quoted quite a lot on Twitter. So in both cases, in these two cases, you own the keys. The only difference here is where is the mnemonic stored. When you have it on the hardware wallet, the mnemonic is stored on the hardware device. For example, let's say a Ledger Nano S, then your mnemonic is stored on that one there. Right, it's for example, I'm just going to make an example, for example, Trezor, or, right, or the, okay, now I'm trying to connect these here. Or, for example, like I said, the Trezor hardware wallet, or the Ledger Nano S/X, and so on. Then it's quote unquote offline, so the mnemonic stored on these devices here. There's with no connection to the internet. And then there are software wallets, for example, like Exodus. I'm going to quote them below so it's easier. Exodus, Atomic Wallet. Also, the Xum app is a software wallet, and so on. And that's basically the difference here. So in both cases, you own the keys. The only difference here is that on the software wallet is stored on your computer or on your phone. So the mnemonic is stored, for example, with the Xum wallet, the mnemonic is stored encrypted on your phone. And with the hardware wallet, there the mnemonic is not stored on the device itself. No, it's stored on the hardware device. So not, for example, you can interact with your Ledger OS using, for example, a computer. So you connect it to a computer, but the computer has not access to the mnemonic itself. It's just using the Ledger API to communicate with the device and sending transactions, and then the device can sign and will send back the signed transaction. So right, so that's basically, and with the hardware wallets, the mnemonic won't ever leave the hardware device. Obviously, it's very important. And with the software wallet, it's stored on your computer or on some storage file on your computer locally. So not in the internet, but still it's stored in a file. And so that's the only difference we have to highlight here. But in both cases, they're non-custodial, full control of them. But there's arguably the hardware wallets are a little bit more secure, but also having a software wallet, you are also fine or good to go. So it's not like, so when you use a software wallet, they always encrypt the stored mnemonic to provide security. and the chances of that being hacked are also quite low. So obviously, in order to that that happens, the hackers must exactly know which wallet you have there, or they must have access to all your files and then have to sort out what you have installed there, because they don't necessarily know that you have the exam map or any other hard wallet, Atomic, Decent app, or whatever. So there are like lots of soft wallets and hard wallets, but in both cases, it's very important that you check that they're non-custodial. So that's the only thing I would highly recommend getting a non-custodial wallet. I don't mind if you have either a soft or hardware wallet. For the hardware wallet, you would have to pay a little bit more money, because it's like whatever $60 to $100 extra cost that would happen here. But if you want to start or whatever, for starters, you could also just get a software wallet instead of having it on an exchange, because it's just safer. Because like I said, you have full control, and if an exchange gets hacked, then you're obviously there might be a chance that, for example, gather all the coins or all crypto. So obviously, usually all exchanges have multiple accounts and with different security mechanisms, so that doesn't happen. But well, you always have to trust on that doesn't happen. So the easiest part is really just getting a non-custodial wallet that you're in full control. The only downside here is if you ever lose the mnemonic, your funds are gone. There's no yes, I forgot that one. Can somebody restore it? No, it's not possible. So if you're using a non-custodial wallet, please make sure that you have the mnemonic stored safely and also have multiple fallback locations, so you can always access it. There have been multiple stories of people not being able to access the 10,000s of Bitcoin or whatever. So very important, always remember, you have to store your mnemonic in a good place, in a secure place, and also you should have backups. Alright, so that's basically it. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.